Hi, welcome back. This class will be 30-minute or so gentle wake-up call. So every morning we wake up a little bit different. Sometimes we feel good, ready to go. Sometimes we're just a little slow. So let's practice this as a way to gently wake up our body. Okay? Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration. These programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. So we'll start with, we're not going to use many props. I have one blanket, I have a strap and a block. You can have those handy. I know we'll be using the strap, but the rest will depend on you, the block and the blanket. So you can have those ready if you don't have them. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I'm first coming off the blanket and we'll go into a lying down position. So coming down on your back, just adjust the pelvis. And then straighten the legs. First, just bring the legs apart. And then take your arms up and interlace your fingers. And as you interlace the fingers, press the hands out, straighten the arms. As you lift the arms up, draw the shoulders down and bring the arms out behind you. So you're still pressing into the index finger and all the fingers, broadening through the palm, lengthening. So the inner arm is lengthening toward the inner wrist, the outer shoulder toward the outer wrist. Keep the thighs descending, spread the toes, press out through the heel, press into the mounds of the feet, and tighten the kneecaps. So you're starting to activate the legs, keep the thighs moving down. So here, I'm opening the armpit chest. Reach the arms up a little bit further, keeping that connection of the arm into the shoulder. You can feel the shoulder blades flat and shoulder blades descending downward. And then bring your arms up. Change the cross on your fingers. Press out, moving the shoulders down as you lift up. So as you move the shoulders down and lift the arms over, maintain the front ribs moving down toward the floor. So often you're going to lift the front ribs, so move the front ribs down to keep that middle back extended and lengthening. So the whole front body is lengthening, the back body is lengthening. Press the inner heels away, lift up through the inner legs. Move the tops of the thighs down. Then extend from the outer hips to the outer heels. As you do that, find your lower back waist, left and the right side, lengthening up your lower back, middle back. Keep the shoulders descending. Take a few breaths there. Keep the face relaxed. Observe your breath. Keep the breath relaxed. And then bring your hands back. Bend the knees. Then we're coming in Paschimottanasana. Bend your knees in front of your chest. Interlace your fingers as you did in Bhujangasana and bring your hands down to about the middle of your shin bone, allowing your thighs to rest toward the abdomen. Keep your calves moving toward the backs of your thighs. So it's a compact action. And as you do that, feel your lower back along the floor, abdomen releasing towards your lower back. And just depending on how your back feels, you can make some little rounded motions as if there was a quarter or a coin-sized circular right in the middle of the back. So making those circular motions, and then go to the other side. Observing what you feel. Return both feet to the floor. Bend your right knee. So take your hands down a little bit further. Press the left leg into the floor. Keep the top of the buttocks moving down and maintain the length through the lower back up to the middle back. And then extend out through the heel. So maintaining that extended leg like you did earlier so that the hip is moving away and not moving up towards your lower back. And then bring the foot back. Return the right foot on the floor. Bend the left knee. Bring your hands towards your ankle. Extend the leg. Keep that extended right leg, thigh moving down, toes facing up toward the ceiling. Extend your heel. Now, as you bend this left leg, hug it in toward the chest. Keep the foot relaxed, but keep the right foot active. So the toes spreading, the heel extending, kneecap lifted, thigh descending. As you hold the leg, keep that broadness through the chest, collarbones wide. Now release. Bend the knees, bring both feet onto the floor, and now turn to the outer edges of your feet. Bring your feet together, come into Baddha Konasana, knees apart. Roll your shoulders under and catch hold of your ankles. So at first, maybe you're not going to go too far. Just I've got my fingers under my heels. Now I'm going to rest my hips. Press the heels together. And from here, lengthen the inner leg. So I have a little bit of support at the hip socket. A little bit of lift and opening through the pelvis. Shoulders, arms, hands moving down as the buttock lifts up. Breathe into whatever you feel, lengthening the inner legs. From the outer knee, draw back to the outer hip socket. Take a few breaths there, experience what you feel, see where you can let go. Observe what's happening in your body. Press your outer arms down, outer shoulders down. Maintain your awareness on your breath. Keep your breath relaxed, soft, slow. Use your longer exhalations to release any tension you feel in the groin. And inhale, lift up. Take your hips back on. Just take your feet together. And here, your hips are on the floor, your knees are lifted. Bring the arms up over the head. You can hook the thumbs, pulling the thumbs away from one another, and extend the fingers. Move the abdomen down towards your lower back. Lift the lower back up to the middle back, to the upper back. You feel that the navel is moving in toward the lower back and lifting up at the same time. So the front ribs are lengthening up away from your abdomen. Keep the feet pressing. Bring your arms up. Change the cross on the fingers. Bend all through the fingers, stretching, opening through the fingers, broadening through the hand. Lengthen and extend the arms beyond the head, elbows beyond the head. Keep the shoulders moving down, shoulder blades moving down. So feel where the tailbone is, and as you press the feet, press that lower back and descend the tops of the buttocks down. And at the same time, you're lengthening through both sides of the trunk. All right, and then bring your arms up. Bend the knees. Bring your feet onto the floor. Okay, now you're going to take your strap. So take your strap in your hand and open it up. And then you'll be bringing your feet up. So take your feet into the strap You can bring it right onto the mounds of the toes, not near the ankles, but toward the end of the mounds of the toes. Holding the strap in two hands individually. So the left hand is holding one side, the right hand is holding one side. And then move your hips away. So your lower back, you can feel your lower back. If you bring your legs too far back, you're on the back of the buttocks. If you bring your legs too far forward, you can feel you're on above the lower back. So find that place right in the center so that the legs are directly above your hips, and straighten the legs. Spread the toes, draw the kneecaps up. So when you activate the feet, the knees will start to tighten. So tighten and grip the knees, move them into the back of the socket. So you're spreading the back of the knee, lengthen the calf up toward the heel, but at the same time, you're drawing your legs down toward the floor. So they're moving down, and they're also moving away from your lower pelvis. So you make space there in the pelvis. Holding the strap, draw both arms down so that you're bringing some movement to the shoulder, tips of the shoulders moving down, and you can feel the shoulder blades moving up so that that chest remains broad. And then from there, keep the ribs down and bring the arms over the head. Thumbs on the floor, fingers stretching behind you. As you move your thighs away, you move your hips away, you're lengthening through the side trunk. So that circular action of the hips rotating in the socket, turning from the front thigh to the back thigh, and then lengthening the side trunk right up through the arms, through the fingertips, extending. Shoulders on the floor, lifting the chest, but keep the ribs moving down. Observe your breath. From the inner leg, lift up through the inner heel. From the outer heel, down to the outer hips. Now turn the arms facing up toward the ceiling. Feel that rotation of the arms. Outer arms. Press the fingers down, press the front of the hand down. And then lift the arms up, take the strap, bend the knees, and bring the feet onto the floor. Okay, we're going to do this one more time because generally, if you're doing this class, this gentle morning, you haven't eaten anything. So it's not full. It's a good time to do a little bit of work with our abdomen. So bring your arms over, hook the thumbs, keep the arms extending. So you're essentially, as if your arms were starting in your waist. From the back waist, front waist, you're extending all the way up through the arms, keeping that length. Bring your legs up, and then, so we'll do in several different degrees. We'll go down to 90 degrees, we'll go down to 60 degrees, we'll go down to 45, 30, and 10. So if that is not very comfortable for you, then you can always use the strap as well and just do one leg at a time. And then bring the leg back to the strap. You'd be holding the strap. So here I'm going to do with both legs, both arms extending, abdomen moving down towards your lower back. Keep the lower back on the floor. If at any point if you're feeling any strain, you can bring your hands below your back. A little bit of extra support, straighten the legs, and then you'll be bringing the legs up and down as directed. All right, so now take your arms over your head, straighten the legs. Keep extending, holding onto the thumbs, extending the arms and the side trunk away. Bring your legs down to 45, 30, and come back up. We'll start at 90. From 90, we'll go to 60. Keep the legs firm, kneecaps tight. Extend through the heels. Draw the toes back towards you. As you move down to the varying degrees, 45, 30, coming a little faster now, going Extending the legs, but extending the side trunk at the same time. Keep the navel moving down toward the lower back. If you have any kind of sensation in your lower back, again, you can adjust your hands underneath your hips as I showed you. And then just continue to go 90, 60, 45, 30. Starting back at 90, straight legs, extend through the arms, coming down through those different degrees, come back up to 90. Keep the lower back on the floor. Inhale, lift up. Again, 90, 60, 45, 30, 10. Inhale, 90 degrees. Bend the knees. Take the hands at the front of the shin and draw the thighs toward the chest. Release your lower back, release your hips, but maintain that broadness across your chest, collarbones wide. Just breathe there. All right, now we're going to come up. We're going to roll to the side, and you're going to come up. Coming onto your heels. Sit back. Toes are together, knees are apart. And then begin to walk your hands forward, lengthening. Walk your hands forward. Extend your front ribs forward. Use the hands on the floor. Come onto the fingertips. Forearms lifting. That side trunk lengthening. Armpit facing the floor. Press the toes down. Lengthen through the front of the foot. Move the ankle down, shin, thigh. And then come up onto your knees. We'll come into downward facing dog. Spread your hands. Turn the toes under. We'll come up first with bent knees. So as you bend the knees, now just shift the focus on your hands, your arms, and lift your shoulders, moving your chest towards your thighs and up towards your hips. And then come on to the mounds of the toes, bending all the toes, lift the heels up, and straighten the legs. Shoulder blades are lifting up, and at the same time moving toward the chest. So they're not rounding, the back's not rounding, you're getting that length. And then from there, start to extend your heels back toward the end of your mat, extending your heels down as much as you can, pressing the heels into the floor, or just moving the shin bone back, thighs moving back. And then come up, bring both feet together. Again, come back to that full extension of the arms and the side trunk. We're going to come into Ekapada. So first I'll raise my right leg up. Toes are facing the floor, pressing into the mounds of the toes. Come on to the toes again, lift the hips up, and lift that top leg. Extend back. Keep both arms actively extending. So feel if you're in one hand or one shoulder more. Lift the shoulders up. Lift the leg. And now keep that lift. Press through the mounds of the lifted leg, the right leg, and through the heel. And now start to descend your left heel. Lengthen the calf. Stay with your breath. And then come back onto the toes. Bring the foot down. And come back with both heels toward the floor. Take a few breaths. Come back onto the toes, bending all the toes. Keep the chest moving back and lifting up. And now lift the left leg. Now remember that thigh is facing the floor. The knee is facing the floor, so you're not turning your hip. You keep that broadness through both hips, as if you're pressing into that strap that we were pressing into earlier with the ball of the foot. Lengthen up. Adjust the weight on both arms, both hands, and then start to descend that heel. As you descend the heel, continue pressing through that left foot, left heel. And then come up onto the toes again. Bring the toes onto the floor. Extend your heels toward the floor. And then come into Virasana. Shift your hips back towards your heels. Walking your arms forward. Rest your head. Take a few breaths with the forehead on the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, this is where you can have your block or your blanket. Rest your forehead. Okay, coming back up onto the knees. I'm going to just go into a plank pose. So bring more weight onto the hands. Press through the index finger, the thumb, spreading there. Feel the full weight on each hand through the mounds of all the fingers. Palm of the hand. Lift the wrist up. Lift the forearm up. Now for those of you that feel a little more energized, you can go a little further. Come down into Chaturanga. Keep extending your heels. Keep the thighs lifted. You can bring your knees onto the floor. Come back. And we'll do that one more time. Plank pose. Stay in plank or go to Chaturanga. Bending the elbows, extend the legs. Thighs down. Look forward. And then again, coming back. Take a few breaths. And then come down. Face first. Bring your feet onto the mat. The fronts of the feet. Bring the feet together. If you find that's too close, then you can have the feet a little bit further apart. Take your hands back a little bit underneath your shoulders. Keep the elbows moving towards one another. You can take hands back a little bit further towards your waist, and then move the hips down. Press the feet down. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Bhujangasana. Keep the elbows bent. Just get that lift to the upper back. Coming back down. Adjust your feet or your legs if that was too close, or if you can go into the full pose. Press the toes together. Lift the ankles up. Elbows moving back. Press into the hands. And as you move the buttocks down toward the floor, also the top of the buttocks moves towards your heels. Lift up. And then release. Coming back, go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adjust your feet, adjust your arms. Stay there for a few breaths, observing the weight on each hand, up through each arm and the shoulder. So balancing that weight. Move your hips back. So most of the weight is going towards your legs. We're aware of the fronts of the legs, the knees, the thighs, but now broaden the backs of the thighs. Front ribs towards your back ribs. Abdomen moving toward the lower back. And then coming down. You're going to come back onto your back. The knees bent. Take hold of the strap. Adjust your pelvis so your pelvis is level. And then extend the left leg. Bring the right leg up and bring the strap onto the foot. So holding that with the hands up near the foot, but draw the shoulders down. Adjust through the front chest. Collarbones are wide. Keep extending through that left leg, left heel, and straightening the right leg. Move the right thigh back. And as you move that right thigh back, broaden the back of the thigh, broaden the back of the knee. And then getting ready to go to Parshva, which is taking the leg to the side, Parshva Ekapada. Supta Padangusthasana 2, taking that leg over. Keep extending through the left arm. Keep that left pelvis down, left thigh down. As you bring the leg over to the right, that right thigh is externally rotating. You can feel the buttock there. Lift the right thigh up away from the floor as you bring the calf and the foot down. If you have the wall there, you can press into the wall. So even though the leg is moving to the right, it's still moving back, connecting with the hip. Keep extending through the left leg, extending through that left arm, opening through the chest. Be there, breathe. And then inhale, lift the leg up. Bend the knee, take the strap off, and extend the leg down. So I'm turning around now. I'm just going to show this. Okay, so with the knee bent, straighten the leg, and then extend that leg. Come into Supta Padangusthasana 1. This thigh is descending, hip is descending. Maintaining that extension through your lower back. Connect the arms to the shoulders. Sternum bone stays lifted. Shoulders moving toward the floor. Now take the strap as high as you can up onto that, toward the foot. You could actually practice without the strap. You could hold the big toe. But since we started with the strap, let's continue with the strap. Bring your arm along the floor. Maintain that weight on your whole right side as you bring the left leg over. So feel that lower buttocks. So not letting the buttocks lift up, but the top of the buttocks moving towards your sitting bone, toward that end of your mat, toward the right foot end. And let's bring the leg over, descending the right thigh, maintaining that balanced weight, lengthening the inner leg, drawing back through the outer leg. Maintaining that relaxed breath. And then bring the leg up. Supta Padangusthasana 1. And then you'll take the leg down. And now roll onto your side. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana. So for this, you can use your block. Have the block for the head. First, coming into Dandasana, so taking the sitting bones back, be right on the backs of the thighs. Extend the legs out. If you can't reach the feet, you can take the strap around the feet. So we'll first lengthen up, extend the arms, maintain the legs moving down so the legs are still active. Take the hands on the outer feet. And then you're going to move the block so that you can bring your forehead right onto that block. As you do that, place your foreheads in such a way that when your head is on that block, the skin between the eyebrows and the top of the forehead are moving down, okay? As opposed to lifting up. So we're coming down to the end of the practice, so you want to relax the forehead, relax the eyes. Relax the shoulders. And with that relaxed breath, breathe into the back body. Let the back of the head descend down. Relaxing the eyes. So even though we're in a more rested pose, your legs are still active. So the inner knees, you can see your knees. You're maintaining that firmness on the knees and inner thighs move down. Heads of the femur bone moving down. So feeling Where you have contact with the mat, see if you can have more contact with the mat. So you're not lifting up away, but you're just sending down. And where you have contact with the mat, is it the same on the left as it is on the right? Wherever you notice a difference, adjust. And then you'll come up, take your block away. You can have your blanket for your head. Just bring it back. Start again with your knees bent, pelvis in the center. Adjust your head, adjust your shoulders. And then one leg at a time, extend both legs. Release the abdomen down. Now just allow the shoulders to rotate, inner arms, palms facing up. Relax your hands. Relax the fingers. And just allow yourself to feel the back body on the floor, allowing the whole back body to descend. From the part of you that's facing up toward the ceiling. Let that descend downward. Let your toes roll out, inner legs roll out. Coming back to your breath. I'll set a timer for you. Important to be in Shavasana and just allow the body to feel the benefits of your practice this morning. So that'll be about 5 minutes. Enjoy. Namaste.